Can you record high quality field recordings and make money with these sounds recorded on the Zoom H1n? And the answer is yes, you can. So come along with us here in Bangkok. We record a lot of sounds, and during that time, I will tell you more about the benefits of having a recorder like this. So let's go. So what I love the most about this recorder is that it's very handy. You know, you can just use a GorillaPod, iPhone headphones. You never look too professional. And here we are in this beautiful park here in Bangkok, and I just spotted a bunch of crows. So now let's listen to the recordings here with the distance traffic and the crows here in the background. Wow, this is literally a city jungle. Oh, beautiful birds up here, crows, ravens. Then we have the people jogging. You can really hear the footsteps. Distance, there's the highway over there. Oh. So let's try to get closer to the crows. Oh, it could have been such a great recording. I use it still for this video as an example, but for selling it is not possible. I have to really go through the recording and hope I can find a part where I don't hear the music, because on the other side there is one person with a big box, and this tiny recorder is still able to pick this up. So always make sure that you don't record this kind of sounds. Now let's see what else we can find here in Bangkok. Now what we're doing is we record some pests under, meaning there's a lot of traffic in Bangkok. It's very noisy, and we find this great area where we're not having the traffic from underneath. We also have the BTS line from above. So we record the sound. I'm fixing the GorillaPod on here, but then I also need to check if the vibrations from the BTS line aren't too heavy, because when you have vibrations and you will fit a GorillaPod on something like this, you might ruin the audio because you get the vibration within the recording. Now it is not very windy, but I still use the Rycord wind protection for two reasons. First off, I want to protect my microphone capsule from the dust and also from the moisture. It is very humid here, but the humidity is not the problem. One of the biggest problems is that you can face is not the humidity itself, it's the condensations when you come from a cold room and then you go out into the humidity. All right, so I try to keep recordings like this here in this environment very low. So I try to be at least under -18 because we have motorbikes here. And sometimes they have really loud exhausts and there's just like knife spikes, pump. And you don't want to ruin that audio, so that's why I keep it low and have this nice ocean of sounds. And then when you have this peak and you didn't clip it, that's great. Every sound engineer likes to have these recordings when they're creating city soundscapes. Now this was a great example why it's great to have a recorder like this, because all what you need to do is hit the record button and get the sound. Don't waste any time on trying to find a GorillaPod, headphones or anything else, because nothing is worse than getting no sound. And we made it to Bangkok train station. For me, it's probably the most important sound that I record here in Bangkok, and the reason is they're going to closing down this railway station and moving out. That means they're thinking about creating a museum out of this area, and what are we losing if we don't record the sounds? A very unique and nostalgic soundscape. Let's use this recorder and record some sounds here at the Bangkok railway station. Now the train that is about to leave is this one. And I don't want to go too close. I think this is a great spot so we get the horn a little bit more in the distance. And here, all what I'm focusing on right now for this video is the pass by and hopefully we don't distort the horn. But you see, as a backup, I still have the Zoom F6 here with the Rode NTS F1, just in case something is going to happen. But it's also great for our VR sound library. That's where you can find these sounds. But now, let's not waste too much time, because sometimes what happens is I talk too much and then I lose the sound. So I'm gonna place this right here and then hopefully we record a nice pass by. Okay, two things. First off, I don't recommend you using headphones because you can really damage your hearing if you turn it too far up. Also, just for the sake of that, I turned on the limiter because there's so much noise here around anyway, so you don't really hear the internal noise of that recorder. But I also saw that before I turned the limiter on that I distorted the horn on this one. Luckily, we have it saved on this recorder as well. So I haven't lost anything. Also, if a horn is that loud, it always sounds kind of distorted anyway. But still, always make sure that you have your levels right when you record on a 24-bit recorder. So we're closing the chapter here at this train station, and now we're heading to the Chinatown night market. Let's do something a little bit different, because we already know we can use the Zoom H1 as a handheld recorder. We can put it on a GorillaPod, but we can actually create a boom pole as well by taking off this part of the nano pole Then we take off the head from the gorilla pod. We screw this on here. And always be careful that you don't ruin the screw. And now what you need to do is we can just clip this in here. And here we go. Now we have a boom pole. Oh, that's a cool sound. Oh. Can I record the sound? Just the sound. It sounds like. I have to check later, you will hear it. The issue is that we have is, of course, there's music in the distance, so I hope we don't hear that. Then we have the fan running, so I don't even know if the audio is distorted, but we'll find out very soon. Now let's see what else we can find here on the Chinatown night market. Now this area is probably really busy in the morning, but now that everything is going on the main streets, at the night market, these areas creating an eerie vibe, and I love being in this kind of locations. And up here is a van, so let's record it. So I turn off the limiter. Also in the recording before, I had the limiter on because I thought if I don't listen to it and I don't know how loud it's going to be, limiter on, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit too noisy because the whole area is very noisy. But in an area like this, I keep the limiter off. This is also a very constant sound. Now let's listen to it. Actually a fridge. And this is the end of the video, but it's not the end of Bangkok. We're going around recording more sounds with different equipment, but in this video I wanted to show you that you can record great sounds with the Zoom H1n, and if you just start out, get a recorder like this and I'm sure you have way more fun than just stepping up and getting the most expensive equipment. Because one thing is very important, learn the basic first, and if you really love what you do, then you can move up when it comes to equipment. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see you in our next one.